Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Helen, Best Book Forward, and I'm really excited because I have just been tagged in my first video by Book Reviews with Becky. I have to say, Becky has given me a very warm welcome here on Booktube, so thank you so much. It's so lovely to make some new book friends. But yes, this is a Booktuber Bio Tag where we recommend other booktubers to help grow communities, which I think is such a lovely idea. So the original tag was created by Jessica's Library Card, so I'll tag all the people who are involved below, and as well I will tag some booktubers who I really enjoy in the hope that you might enjoy their content too. So I have a little list of questions. Let's do it. So who are you? Okay, I'm Helen. I am a mum of twins. I live in Buckinghamshire. I have a dog called Roddy who is sleeping in the sunshine back there. I started on Instagram as a bookstagrammer back in 2017. It was a complete whim. I had just read Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine and I really wanted to talk to somebody about it. I didn't have any friends who'd read it and all I could find were like static reviews, and I really wanted conversation. I happened to put the title into Instagram and the world of Bookstagram just opened up in front of me, and I think I found my tribe. The name Best Book Forward popped into my head and I started sharing my thoughts on books. I actually didn't tell anybody in my family, even my husband, for such a long time because I just didn't think it'd be something that I would stick to, and I felt a little old to be on Instagram. In 2020, when we went into lockdown, so the next question I'm just rolling on to is how long have you been on Booktube? So 2020, March, I set up my account. Obviously, as we went into lockdown, I thought I'll start YouTubing. But I think the sort of pressure of homeschooling 7-year-old twins, I did not miss my calling as a teacher. I found it so difficult, but also all the stress of the world and everything. I just never posted anything. It was during that time though that on Instagram I started to host a series of Instagram lives where I started off chatting to other bookstagrammers first about the books that have shaped their lives. I called it Desert Island books, like the BBC series Desert Island Discs, where I asked people to choose the 5 books that have shaped their lives. So as I said, started off with bookstagrammers, then I asked some authors if they would join me, and it was incredible. I had, I won't remember them all, but Libby Page, Rachel Joyce, Bonnie Garmus, which I was so upset about because we had such a great chat, and then at the end of the live, Instagram refused to let me upload it because we hadn't met guidelines, as we've been talking about sexism. And that was kind of actually the bit of the push for me that I needed to start my podcast. I'd been thinking about doing a podcast for ages, and I was like, would this sort of format of Desert Island books work? I spent 2 years overthinking it because overthinking is something I really excel at. I'm very good at overthinking. I finally decided to take the plunge, and I did the first season where I had Beth O'Leary, Matt Cain, Nina Stibbe, Helen Paris, I can't even remember everybody who was on, and I had such an incredible response to that podcast that I decided to run with it. For the first series, I worked with a producer, but obviously couldn't financially keep doing that because it's very expensive. So I taught myself how to edit and produce and everything, and I now run my own podcast. I'm currently working on season 3 at the moment. That was a very long answer to how long have you been on Booktube. I basically started sharing on Booktube about a month ago so I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, and I'm on YouTube, and I love Instagram. I do okay with TikTok. It's something I'm trying to learn to love, but I love sharing sort of longer videos like this where I can sort of chat about books and tell you more about, you know, my thoughts and things. So I just thought that maybe YouTube was the right place for that because Instagram only likes sort of short reels. But also with my podcast, up until now I've only shared the audio content on like Spotify and Apple and other podcast platforms, but for season 3 I'm starting to sort of incorporate some of the video. I've just shared a clip this morning of an episode from season 2 with Nikki May, author of This Motherless Land, who agreed to let me go back and use some of the videos. So I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts if that's something that you would be interested in watching as well. What kind of books do you love to read, and has Booktube had an effect on what you read? I read pretty much anything. I always say I don't like really scary books. I tend to sort of not go near true crime and horror. I'm a terrible sleeper anyway, and I don't want to be afraid. But I do love fiction, literary fiction, thrillers. I love non-fiction. I really enjoy a good memoir. I also like to dabble a little bit in YA books, as well as I have children, so quite often I want to sort of, I'm curious to what they're reading, so I'll dabble in that as well. But I like to sort of push myself outside of my comfort zone. I think sometimes, I think historical fiction is probably where I sort of land quite a lot, but I do try to sort of be open to trying new things as well. And actually on that point, that's I have an online book club, and that is something that I love about the book club, because we will try to sort of read things that push us outside of our comfort zone. For me, I'm terrible with classics. They just terrify me. They remind me of being at school and sort of feeling like, the not smart child in the class. But we started this year in the book club with reading Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which I absolutely loved. Really surprised actually at how much I enjoyed it. So that's why I think sometimes it is good to sort of push yourself a little bit outside your comfort zone. What do you enjoy about making Booktube videos? I just love talking about books. My friends and family will listen to me a little bit, but then you can see they start to glaze over when I start sentences like, oh, I've just read this really good book, or have you read? So I think on the social media sort of platforms where I talk about books, as I say, I found my tribe, and I just really enjoy chatting to people about the books that I love and my book thoughts as well. Is there anything you wish that was different about Booktube? I think that's too early for me to say. I've only just been sort of sharing videos a little bit, say for just over a month now. So what I'm seeing, I'm enjoying here. I think it's a really friendly community. As I say, Becky's given me a very warm welcome. There's some friends that I have from Instagram who I found over here, and I really enjoy seeing their sort of longer videos as well. Or name 3 books that you have reviewed on your channel that you feel represent you as a reader. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to have to fast forward this bit. So it took me a while to decide which ones I wanted to pick. So the first one I'm going for is Broken Country by Claire Leslie Hall. This was published yesterday. I was lucky enough to be an advanced reader for this. This book is going to be everywhere. It's been picked by Reese Witherspoon as her book club choice. Fern Cotton has picked it as hers. Reese Witherspoon has also snapped up the TV rights to this one, but it's basically a love story that has a thriller element and ends in a murder trial, and it's one that will make you cry. Honestly, I've read this twice now, as Claire's going to be on my podcast soon, and it is a very, very moving, very clever and brilliant read. Next up, you've probably seen me talk about this one, Night Watching by Tracy Sierra. This is the book I really wouldn't typically pick up because, as I said, I'm a total chicken. It was recommended to me by Gillian McAllister, who wrote Famous Last Words, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and Just Another Missing Person, as many others. She told me it was a scary book. It is terrifying. It is about a woman who wakes in the night to find there's an intruder in her house, and she's alone with her 2 kids. She manages to get the 2 children into a hiding a hole in the house. And when she catches a glimpse of the intruder, she realises that she knows who he is and why he might be there. It's a real page turner. I mean, I read it in a day and thought it was absolutely brilliant. Next up, this is the proof. I can't find my copy just now. This is A Little Trickery by Rosanna Pike. This was one of my top 4 from 2024. I just love this book. It's just been announced as on the long list for the Women's Prize for Fiction, which I think is really, really well deserved. This is historical fiction. It's about a vagabond named Tib Ingleby, who is just such an incredible character. This is just so clever, this book. You will be rooting for Tib, and there's a part where she gets herself into, I'm trying to be vague again so I don't give it all away. There's a part where she gets herself into a situation where you just will be like, there's no possible way that she can escape this, but she does, and it's brilliant, and I just love this book. So these 3, I think, sort of represent me in historical fiction, a thriller, and then you know, this is a bit of a mix of everything, love story, thriller, mystery as well. Okay, share the love. So yes, so name 3 booktubers whose content inspires you. So I've actually put down here book reviews with Becky, who I've mentioned before. She gave me such a warm welcome to Booktube, so thank you so much. She likes to read a lot of thrillers, so I've had a couple of recommendations there. She also has a really cute cat that often appears in the back of her videos, which I love seeing, because although I have my Roddy, who I adore, back there, we did used to have 2 cats, and I do miss them. I do miss my cats. Bookish Adventures in Wellbeing. This is Kerry, and I know Kerry from Bookstagram, so it's really lovely to find her over here. And then the Candid Book Club as well, I've mentioned, because I just think they're a group of women who review books, and I know them from Instagram, but I love their content, I love their reviews, and quite often they will influence me into buying more books. It doesn't take much to influence me. And the final one would be Me, My Dog and Books, who again I know from Instagram. I love her content. She always does these really great reading vlogs over here, and I really enjoy her content. So yeah, so that's it. That's a little bit about me. If you have any questions you'd like to ask me, drop them in the comments. Do give the accounts that I've mentioned below a follow. I think they're brilliant, and I hope that you will enjoy them too. And thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with more book chat soon.